So Darlington Raceway's popularity has seen a resurgence over the last couple of years, and the track once again has two dates on the NASCAR calendar, one for a throwback weekend and the other for NASCAR's crown jewel Southern 500. But it's not just the Cup Series that puts on awesome racing at Darlington, as the 2022 NASCAR Xfinity Series produced one of the greatest races and best finishes in the track's history. This race took place during NASCAR's Southern 500 weekend, and Joe Gibbs Racing's Brandon Jones was on the pole with Junior Motorsports' Noah Gragson alongside him on the outside.
Green flag in the air.
See, Brandon Jones chooses the top, and the 9 is going to contest.
It gets really tight right here on corner exit.
Looks like Jones made the right decision. Now Gragson will move up on the high line as well. The red and white car down below, that's Sheldon Creed.
Oh, Sheldon Creed had good speed in practice. Qualified well, thought his long run speed was good. You see right there, he got pinched off a turn 4, Steve, and now he's lost momentum down the front.
Brandon Jones was able to lead the first 3 laps of the race before Noah Gragson would get around him on the outside on the exit at turn number 4 and would go on to dominate the rest of stage number 1. Even though the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs kick off at the Southern 500, the NASCAR Xfinity Series still had a few more races to go before their playoffs start. So Hendrick Motorsports entered a car in this race, and it was driven by none other than Kyle Larson, who would definitely be a factor before the end of this one. Traffic can be tough to navigate at Darlington, and with only 5 laps remaining in the stage, Noah Gragson was trying to hold off Brandon Jones, while the lapped cars of Ryan Ellis and Joe Graff got into each other, but thankfully Gragson and Brandon Jones were able to avoid this, and both of the lapped cars were able to keep going straight without any major issues. With 2 laps to go in the stage, third place Kyle Larson would end up going slow on the back straightaway with the rear right tire that has gone down. Larson ended up getting into the wall and loosening one of the crush panels, which actually ended up collapsing on the tire. Thankfully, the end of this stage would save him from going several laps down. And with the stage being completed, Noah Gragson would come across the line to win stage number 1 just in front of Brandon Jones. Under this yellow, all the leaders would hit pit road, and Noah Gragson would get off pit road first. Pinning here would be no surprise as Darlington chews up tires, so these guys are going to want to hit pit road every chance that they get as long as they have tires remaining. As the field was getting ready to come back to green, the restart would be delayed because 2 drivers who received penalties on pit road, John Hunter Nemechek and Anthony Alfredo, end up wrecking trying to catch up to the field as John Hunter slowed up as he caught up to the back of the pack. Fast pasta Anthony Alfredo came in way too hot and just pile drove right into the back of poor John Hunter Nemechek, putting heavy damage to the front of Alfredo's car. And this would end up ending his day.
Here comes the 26 of the red car of Nemechek, but Alfredo just carried too much speed to the back of the pack.
That one's totally on the 23. I couldn't tell from our first replay if the 26 maybe brake checked him. You know, was he mad about it? So right here, he's just slowing down because he doesn't want to pass the car on his outside, and he gets absolutely run over.
If you're wondering about Kyle Larson, by the way, he is currently 1 lap down. He did lose 2, but under the stage break, he stayed out and took a wave around.
All right.
Okay, wow, wild end to stage 1, wild pit sequence there.
Well, and we are close to halfway in this race, 54 complete. We need about 75, 74 officials, so 20 laps to go. Rain is inside that 8-mile window. We will see the intensity pick up.
Noah Gragson to the right, the gray and orange Chevrolet. On the left, the Toyota getting a push from the other Toyota, Brandon Jones. But on the inside, there's Chevy's push forward. Allgaier pushing his teammate Gragson.
Christopher Bell in that white and red car on the bottom. He's worked himself from the back. Now he has cleared his teammate Ty. He's in 4th place. Good run from the back.
Austin Hill in the white 21. He looks to the inside. He'll try to get by Ty Gibbs as well.
The race was finally able to get restarted and Noah Gragson led into turn number 1. As you heard Steve Letarte mention, rain was in the area, so that would kick up the intensity a little bit as these guys were trying to get everything that they could get and try to make it to halfway before the rain got to the racetrack. The green flag would only remain out for 3 laps though, as trouble in turn 2 would strike Chris Wright, Riley Herbst, and Myatt Snyder, bringing out the caution flag.
Ooh, Myatt gets a little wide there. Chris Wright up into, is that graph again? Snyder's red and white car.
Yeah, I can't tell from that angle exactly what happened.
But the third car, the darker blue car there, that again was Joe Graff Jr. And David Starr just escaping through, I believe. Ooh.
Yeah, looks like 3 wide, just didn't work on corner exit.
On board with John Hunter Nemechek.
Easy up to the middle right there, to the middle. There you go.
Nicely
Nice
done.
job.
Wow.
Easy now, easy. Oh, dude.
With rain clearly in the area and such few laps on their tires, all the leaders would stay out, as track position was super important because nobody knew if they were going to make it to halfway and if the race was going to end or not.
Be aggressive here.
There you go. Be aggressive.
That's the spotter for Justin Allgaier, Eddie DeHaan. He tried to be aggressive, but boy, did Noah Gragson ever get a great launch on the bottom.
You said it. That was a great launch, and now he is clear. That allowed Brandon Jones to get to second place. That outside line just did not go. See Christopher Bell, he's back now in 5th, trying to get by Creed and for 4th.
A lot of 2x2 through turns 1 and 2. They all make it. Now doubling up in 3 and 4. Who's going to have the advantage, up by the wall or down low?
Unfortunately, this restart would be short-lived too, of only 3 laps before the yellow flag was displayed once again, and this time because the rain ended up hitting the racetrack. And at this point, we have not made it to halfway yet to make this an official race. The good news though is that there wasn't a large abundance of rain in the area, and everyone was hoping that it would pass by real quick. But due to this, NASCAR had no choice but to stop the race and throw the red flag. The rain would eventually pass, and the drivers would get back out onto the track ready to restart this race. Some drivers were having a little bit of issues though, as this was supposed to be a full day race, which has now gone into the evening. A lot of these drivers were having difficulties with the sun out there on the track, as they were simply just not prepared for that scenario, unlike the Cup guys who would have to deal with that during the beginning of the Southern 500. Noah Gragson would lead the field back to the green flag.
2.5 hour rain delay. Darlington Raceway back in race shape. The green flag is redisplayed. 70 laps to go to the checkers.
I'm not really sure why they were playing someone's in-car on that restart. I guess someone in the NBC trailer was still half asleep from that rain delay. With 6 laps to go in stage number 2, Noah Gragson would be challenged for the first time all night by his teammate Justin Allgaier. Allgaier would get by him going into turn number 1 and would take over the lead of the race. Justin Allgaier would go on to win stage 2, but it would end prematurely and under yellow as the 66 car of JJ Yaley would catch on fire and come to a stop on the racetrack. Thankfully, he was able to jump out uninjured.
You know, the engine, oh wow, most likely an engine failure. Oil on the exhaust pipes immediately starts a fire. I noticed when we went back green, this car wouldn't fire. And they had to push him down pit road. Wow. And it took a while. They ultimately obviously did get refired, but something happened to this car prior to going green.
And what this will do is we've talked, look at the fire. That's what caught my attention out the window.
Under this yellow, everyone would obviously take the opportunity to come to pit road for 4 tires and fuel, and probably some much needed adjustments, as the track conditions have changed quite drastically, and Austin Hill was able to win the race off of pit road. This yellow would also see Kyle Larson get the free pass to get back on the lead lap. What an excellent restart for Sheldon Creed, as he was able to get the lead before the completion of the first lap with kind of a surprise move to the outside of Justin Allgaier. This following green flag run would be the second longest of the entire race, and longest since the opening stint of the race, which went stage 1's entire 45 laps. With Sheldon Creed looking comfortable and pulling away, with 19 laps to go, Brandon Jones, who was running in 9th spot, ended up going for a spin, bringing out the caution flag once again.
31 laps on these tires right here, gets into the top. Man, just loses the back. Does a nice job kind of, I guess, jumping on the gas and driving it off the wall.
Yeah, he's really loose on corner entry, and see right there, Steve, you said it well. He just stood on the gas. Look at that A car.
Josh Berry
doing
making
a really
nice
good
move.
job.
With tires being so important, everyone would take the opportunity to come to pit road here and put 4 fresh tires on. Sheldon Creed, who came in leading, would win the race off pit road just ahead of Noah Gragson, but don't look now, Kyle Larson is up to 8th.
A two-sided race, an early race, a 2.5-hour rain delay. Now the final 14 laps coming up here. Sheldon Creed, the control car, the red and white number 2. What kind of a launch will he get? It's not bad, but Gregson's looked very, very good.
That bottom has been good launches all day long. Noah's got to drive it in here. Nobody's going to lift right here. They're going to come off turn 2 side by side and wide open in the gas.
Sheldon Creed inches forward. He has a 2-car in the
Sheldon,
lead.
him right there.
What will Gregson do with that low line? He used it to start this final stage. Now he's got to think about what's happening back here, Jeff. 2 wide by 3.
Both Sheldon Creed and Noah Gragson got awesome restarts here and were able to clear themselves away from the field, and by the end of the first lap, it looked like the two might pull away and settle this race amongst themselves. With 10 laps to go, Kyle Larson already cleared himself through the traffic though, and worked his way up to 3rd and was running the front 2 down.
Coming to the white flag, Sheldon Creed still has the lead. 1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. A lap car in between, and now Kyle Larson looks to the inside. He'll take the point. Oh, there's a lot of contact I want to do, and now Larson readies the car again. Creed off of the corner. Can Sheldon Creed hang on? His win would take him into the playoffs.
Watch Noah Gragson right here.
The 9 looking low. Noah Gragson to the low side, and Creed, he pulls the video game move. He's in the wall. Can he keep the throttle up? Here comes Noah Gragson. Creed cannot do it, and Gragson will win at Darlington.
Wow.
I've been working all weekend. I'm tired. I cannot sleep. I want to have fun. Stop drinking.
What an unbelievable finish to an awesome race. Noah Gragson, it looked like he might have slipped out of contention there, but with how hard Sheldon Creed and Kyle Larson were racing, he kept himself right there and was able to sneak by on the last lap, as well as singing some Alan Jackson as he came across the finish line. Well, Sheldon Creed held it wide open along the outside wall, and it just did not work like he hoped to, as getting into the wall here just slows you down so much through the turn, unlike Ross Chastain at Martinsville where it ended up working flawlessly. Just way different racetrack, and it just didn't end up working here. And even Noah Gragson himself got into the outside wall as well, but was still able to secure the victory. Well, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know this one was only last year in 2022, but it was a phenomenal finish, and one that I felt like didn't need to wait for an incredibly long time to be revisited, as this was one of the best Xfinity races of the entire year in 2022. Subscribe to my channel for more NASCAR content. I upload NASCAR videos every Friday, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That's all for now. Take care, everybody.